Okay. All right. And from one controversial issue to another. Poor Jesus, you know, people. It is indeed my... Well, I want to put the beautiful lady over there. I like to see my guests when I'm talking to them, you know. I'm going to put the lady all the way over there. But I can't see her now. Well, it is my pleasure to have with us today and to give us like another discussion on another touchy issue. This is a mix-up entertainment show. And very often the whole issue of bunning and jacket come up, you know. We have done jacket mix-up already, and we know what jacket mean in Jamaica with respect to, you know, a child that is not yours. We have mentioned before that when the United States Embassy or the United States government started requiring, I think it's men only, I can't imagine it on the same side with women, but when they started requiring men to prove through DNA that the children that they're filing for are indeed theirs, that it yielded some interesting statistics that shocked us. Some people, it did not shock them, but for many, it shocked us. Some 37%. 37. When I was going to school, they told me that if you get a 5% standard deviation, that was significant. 37% of people who have children out there who think it was for them on all these years, when they apply for visa, they find out it's not for them one. We have with us Sonia King. I hope I'm not mispronouncing your first name. Some people say Sonia, some people say Sonia.
Sonia is perfectly right.
Sonia King, who wrote the book Jacket or Full Suit, Paternity Testing from a Jamaican Perspective. And let me tell you now, on the need for go, they're going to get this book here, you know. May I endorse a book here. And may I tell you, say, a beer talking out about it and so forth. So on the need for read it for yourself and reach your own conclusions on it. But we're very fortunate today to have with us here the author and Sonia. If you don't mind,
no man, Sonia.
Okay, and you can call me Raga.
Sure.
Perhaps you could just start by giving us an overview of the significant findings in the book. Yeah.
There are a lot of significant findings. Actually, the study you just talked about with the 37, you said it's not 37, it's 34%.
34%.
34%.
Thank you. Okay.
And that was, we did a retrospective study where we looked at cases I had tested over a 5-year period.
Uh-huh.
And we found that the cases that were contested, which is mainly those that came through the courts where the man said, not me.
Right.
The woman says, well, he's the only man I've ever had.
Right.
And those cases, we found that 34% of those turned out to be jackets. 34.
So of all of those cases where the man says not me and the woman says it's you're the only man I ever, 34% of those turned out to be that it was in fact not the man jacket.
Yeah.
How significant is 34? I mean, we just throw out these numbers and some people don't really understand how significant is 34%.
Well, you see, what you do with statistics, because 34% is what made the headlines.
Right.
But then 66% were right.
Right.
But actually, the man's, the woman was right. She either guessed right or she knew.
Right.
But 66% were okay.
But is it 34% still like...
It's amazing.
Amazing.
But far more amazing to me
yeah.
was the cases that were uncontested, where the man was sure this is mine, this is my child. Mainly in the sponsorship cases where a man says, well, I'm sponsoring my child. He's sure that this is his.
Right.
Or in cases where they were not contested.
This is for visa.
That's for visas, primarily.
Right.
mainly U.S. immigration.
Mainly
but
U.S.
other embassies also.
Okay.
But uncontested, where there's no problem. They know that it's their child.
No, this has always been my child. I'm filing for my child.
Okay.
I know this to be my child. I'm filing for my child. But I'm merely going through the motions and doing what you said to do the DNA.
Because the embassy said they want to know.
And what you're saying about those?
13%. To me, that is a far more significant figure than the 34, because this is where you're sure that this is my child.
And how many percent is it?
13%.
13%. And that's significant too?
To me, that is significant, because this is where you've brought the child up all his life, and you're sure this is my child. and only by chance that somebody has asked for
let me
proof.
just get it right. You're saying that 34%
are the contested cases.
Are the contested cases in courts?
In mainly court or personal paternities where people just have a doubt and want to know. A woman might
Also, the 34% is not related to the embassy thing.
No.
Also, the embassy count now,
Mainly.
where the men are sure, were sure.
Yeah.
Mainly,
Yeah.
it's
13.
13%.
Yeah.
And you're saying that 13%
is more significant to me.
Than the 34%
yes,
in the other
because
context.
with the 34%, there has been some
was
doubt
doubt,
registered.
right.
So that at
So
least
the 13% the man them sure a long time.
Yeah. This is my child.
And we understand that some of the children are 18 and in their 20s.
Bigger. I mean, you will have read of the man in his 40s.
Right.
Well, he didn't know that the person that he loved and person that had brought him up and nurtured him for 40-odd years was not his father until the embassy said, let us check this out because your name is not on the birth certificate. That's one of the reasons. One of the reasons the embassy asked also is this thing we have with pet names.
Yeah.
You have a child named Marie, but you call her Carol because why?
Yeah.
It's your pet name.
Yeah, it's a naming
and the mother
convention.
Mother, you see, they've asked us to prove mother as well because of this. You know, you say the men, but they ask when the man's name is not on the birth certificate also.
Okay.
But we've had mothers that had to prove that they're mothers. One of the reasons she goes to the embassy and I'm sponsoring Marie, birth paper says Carol or something like that. Well, if you don't know your child's name, you can't be the real mother. That is the embassy's perspective.
Then with all due respect, son, you don't think say I some claffy them there. You know, say them pick the name Sandra Brown and them the pet name is Marie and gone and the good embassy.
Yeah.
I say I give them pet name. Not for them for that.
Nonsense.
But
That
is unacceptable.
But it happens, people.
Well, let me ask you something now. And when a jacket is successfully delivered, oh Lord, that just sounds so weird. But when a jacket is successfully delivered, who are usually the perpetrators of such an act? Isn't the case that it's a woman are doing it mostly?
Oh yes.
The fraud? Yeah.
Oh yes. That's the woman. But as I've said before, and people take issue with this, we've known in Jamaica that the man gives bond. Women have accepted that, and people will say, sure, he said the man stay. Them can't help it. And
can I just stop you right there for a second? You just said we've known in Jamaica that man give bond. And women have accepted.
Institutionalized.
Yeah, but don't woman give bond to just that then give bond better and keep it more secret. But that's probably another issue.
Women are good learners.
Women are good learners.
So they're learning from the men.
No, Sonia
and
King.
I've said in another
Sonia
forum,
King, with all due
men
respect.
give bond, women give jackets.
Tambourine! I like it. No, okay, no, but can we respectfully disagree? Because I happen to think that women are better bond givers than men. And they're so much better at it. And they feel less of a need to even let people know that they're giving bond. That they're so much more secretive with it, that we don't even know the extent to which. I think women are so good at giving bond that when they're giving bond and they keep it secret, not even they know.
They've perfected the art.
Right. So I just want to say women are giving, but I had interjected, I'd cut you, and I want you to continue that women have accepted that men have institutionalized cheating and infidelity and bullying, and you were saying?
They've always been told this, and even in the church, people say, well, the men, they can't help it. The men just can't help it. You must forgive. And
right.
The rest of it. So the women have forgiven.
Right.
And they have gone another route.
So are you proposing that this is a kind of institutionalized balancing on the part of the woman, that since the man them go and bond so much, then the woman them end up having to get jacket
I've had to wonder when I've done the work that I've done, because there's been so you see in the book, and of course you have to read the book to see the extent to which it has gone.
Okay.
And there must be a reason for it.
Is boning like a really huge thing here? Extramarital affairs, as the bossy people would say. Is it as big as people make it, or is it bigger than people make it, or is it less the case?
When I've had cases, I've had one gentleman that came. Again, it was a sponsorship case. He looked young. He looked probably in his 30s. He said he was 40-something, and his papers bore that out. But the embassy did not believe that this man could have had as many children as he said he had, because his mother was sponsoring him, and he wanted to take his children, or some of the children he had. So the embassy sent him to have the test done. Mother sponsoring him, that's no problem. They will sort that out. But then he had to prove that these children were biological.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to me with...
About how many kids he had?
I don't know how many he had, but he came with about 6.
About 6.
No, the problem was these were about 3 different men, and some of the names were
3 different
duplicated.
men?
Women.
Women, okay.
Mothers.
Mothers, right.
And some of the names were duplicated because, you had like 2 Keishas, so we had to go by middle names to identify when I'm labeling the samples.
Right.
So as not to mix them up.
Right.
If you have Keisha and then Keisha again, you could be a problem. So I had to be calling them by the middle names.
Right.
And then he had 3 baby mothers. So is that born? He was not married. 3 baby mothers.
3 baby mothers?
Yes.
But it depends.
That he came to me with 6 children.
Well, I don't know if it's 3 baby mothers was done simultaneously, but it's possible to have 3 baby mothers and at different points without any of them being together, but I don't know.
All right. Well, that is one case. It got so complicated that the names were duplicated.
Okay, I see.
And he had to. So that's one. But a case that I talk about that fascinates me is one where this man, as I said, the uptown people talk about, I have so many children. Downtown people say, me get so much children.
Right. And the woman said, me give him so many children. That's
Absolutely
how they speak. Yeah. As if it's not theirs also.
Yes. But with this particular fellow, he said that his best friend kept telling him, man, a jacket you get, because he kept saying, me get 4 youth. And his friend said, a jacket you get, man. Oh, you must get youngster. This is a youngster. Not the one I just told you about.
Right.
So you see how widespread that is.
Okay.
And he said, so he came to me now to make an appointment to have the test done. And he came asking if he can pay for the fees little.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we do, we give a bank slip. You pay at the bank and you come in for the appointment with a paid voucher.
Right.
But he is a casual laborer, couldn't afford the fees.
Uh-huh.
He came and asked me if he can pay little, and I said, well, what you can do, collect up the little. And when you've got enough to pay the fees, pay it, and then, we make the appointment and so on. I said, how old is the child? In my ignorance, I'm saying, how old is the child? Well, it's 4 me get, So I said, well, really, how are we going to manage that? Because the fees for one is expensive, and he's got 4 children.
Right.
This is not an immigration case.
Right.
And he said that his friends kept telling him that his pure jacket him a get. And he said, well, him know that is his. He said, I'm not, I have no doubt about them. I know it's my youth, them. All of them look like me.
Mm-hmm.
Me know it's my youth, them. I mean, not raffle none of them.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that means. Me not raffle none of them. Mm-hmm. So me accept them. Right? So he's accepting all of these children as his. Mm-hmm. Although his friends are making fun of him. And he says, well, why? It's an ego thing. He says, Miss King, them is bad mind here because it's pure blank them Lego. Them say them a woman, but it must be pure blank them Lego because them not have no youth like me.
Yeah.
Right? And them don't know say me no deal with blank. A pure life shot me Lego.
Pure life shot him.
And them shot them come from gun. And I thought that was funny because I was smiling inwardly, but he saw something in my facial expression that he probably thought I was upset, and he apologized. He said, sorry here, miss, but you know what me I talk about, right? Uh-huh. And I said, yes. It's an ego thing to know that he can fire a live shot.
It's a
so he's telling his friends that this he knows that these are his.
Right.
And then it came to a heading where he was called to the Jubilee for the arrival of another child.
Right.
And he goes to the Jubilee to visit this baby mother.
Yeah.
And it's 3 women calling to him, look, there are 3 women on the ward pregnant for this man, or claiming to be pregnant for this man.
And his one him go down and go look.
And he goes down.
So him never know about the other 2 of them.
So his best friend said, see there now, all the while I'm telling you that his bun is that jacket you get. Yeah. And you think I'm joking. See the proof there. How you must get 3 women pregnant, and this is the same week. How you must get 3 women pregnant in your yard in the same week. Because the friend thinks they're all from his same little yard.
Right.
And he says, no, they're not from his same little, they're from different communities.
Okay.
And these are communities that are at war politically that you don't go into if you're from one area.
Okay.
But he's a casual laborer, so he gets a work in this area.
And wherever him work, him walk.
A work on the side.
Yeah,
and then he goes to another, and another. Uh-huh. So he has these 3 children there. And he's still maintaining that they're his because they look like him.
Right.
And it proves that he's got stamina if he can have so many children, and his friends are saying nothing. His friends not as good as him, because
Right.
the pure blanks they're dealing with.
Right.
That's all in the book.
That's the mentality.
You'll see the ego
Again,
thing in the
people,
book.
we're talking about the book Jacket or Full Suit, Jacket or Full Suit, Paternity Testing from a Jamaican Perspective. One more time, the book is titled Jacket or Full Suit, with a question sign, Jacket or Full Suit. And again, Paternity Testing from a Jamaican Perspective. It's by Sonia King, or as we say in Jamaica, Sonia King. Sonia King. But a question for you. Again, another one. When men do not accept their children, we have penalties for that. If a man is not supporting his child, that man can be taken to the family court, and some sort of judicial resolution can be obtained with the law enforcement properties having the facility to enforce the dictates of the court. However, do you think we need some sort of institutionalized way of holding women accountable if it can be proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they deliberately gave a man a jacket?
I would agree with that, absolutely. And in fact, payment for the fees for the test, I think the women should be asked to pay the fees. There is one thing here called Who Must Pay.
Yes, okay.
I'm not quite sure
Who
if you had read that. Who
must pay? Right, no.
What's that, page what?
No, I didn't read that part there, yes. Okay. But anyway, go ahead.
And I think that if usually it's a man that is asked to pay the fees to have the DNA or the paternity test done, and if it can be proved that the woman had in fact passed off, but how can you prove that she knowingly? Because what happens, woman might come and they have often said to me, I'm involved with 2 or 3 different men. I honestly don't know. It could be anyone's.
Right. Now
so they honestly don't know.
Right,
and she will say, I have my doubts. It could be whatever.
Right.
Often the name that is called is the one for the man that is more financially endowed.
Okay.
So they would
financially endowed,
yes,
not the one that is more endowed, but the one who is more financially
financially
endowed. Okay.
Might also follow.
Okay. Sonia King, could you just remind the people what exactly is your profession and what you do and so forth?
I'm a trained medical technologist.
All right.
I work primarily in research for many years, for over 30 odd years.
Okay, and then you actually conduct these...
I do these tests.
These DNA tests and so forth.
Well, DNA now is being done on the Mona campus.
Right.
At CarrieJam does it, yeah.
Right.
But prior to that, and that came about, the forensic lab got the first DNA testing facility after the O.J. Simpson case, when the government then saw the need. But for years, I'd been trying to incorporate DNA in our laboratories, but it's a very expensive situation. And the wall that says no funds kept coming up every time.
No, but it's indispensable if we really take the issue of justice seriously. Right. As you can see in CSI and all the CSIs and the law and orders.
Well, now we realize how important it is.
And the Discovery Channel, Forensic Files, which I am an avid fan of, and so forth.
We realize how important it is now. But then... the funds just were not there. The funds became available after O.J. Simpson.
After O.J. Simpson, we got a wake-up call.
And maybe I should tell all your listeners that, no, I've never tested Dr. Ragashanti.
Oh, Lord.
Just in case they're wondering.
You're a mix-up
Just in case they're wondering.
No, but here's a story now. We have a thing here called thick skin and broadback. And again, because I don't have any children yet, and them get on my case and tell me I'm a work list. You have a look at this girl up on the site named Tantan, and she call me one seed ragga. Them done me, see, man. Make I tell you, but at least I don't have those stresses, and me not ready for Maury or in your book yet. And when the time come, I will to up, so I will take care of business where I don't have those issues.
Right.
Okay, that the picnic will just favor me and Lisa Anna, and the argument done.
But there is a thing that says the looks don't count.
Looks don't. No, I tell you, I watch Maury all the time.
But the blood doesn't lie.
The looks don't, but the blood doesn't lie. No, I watch Maury all the time and see the pin in them dead. So I say, no, man, a female, that's a female, only for you. The DNA said nothing of us. You understand? Thank you so much again, Sonia King, author of the book Jacket or Full Suit, Paternity Testing from a Jamaican Perspective. Sonia King, go out and get it. Thank you so much for being with us today.